Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Talking Pigskin. I'm your host, Kishwar Mehdi, and today we'll discuss the AFC and NFC East. Now, in my previous videos, I've discussed the South, the West, and the North divisions. You guys reached out to me with questions. Really appreciate that. Some of you agreed, some of you did not, which is totally cool. That's why we have this channel for. It's cool to agree, disagree, although it comes at a premium in today's world. But with all that being said, let's talk about the last two divisions in the National Football League, beginning with NFC East. Now, this division is going to be highly competitive this year, and I do believe three of the teams can make it to the playoffs, two wild card, of course, and one division winner. And in a very surprising twist, I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East division. Now, I have them finishing at 11-5 record, although they got rid of Jordan Matthews and a couple other receivers, but guess who they brought in? Alshon Jeffrey and Torrey Smith. This receiving core definitely solidified itself in the free agency. Carson Wentz in his second year will be great. They also brought in Ronald Darby from the Buffalo Bills to play in the corner position to get rid of god-awful Nolan Carroll. So this team is looking good. The only key loss I would say they have is Connor Barwin in the linebacking position. I'm not very familiar with their linebacking core right now, but I do think this defense will be good. Carson Wentz, I only see him progressing in his second year, and I think he can guide the Eagles to a division crown. And then I have the New York Giants at 10-6. Now, with the addition of Brandon Marshall, that offense should be prolific this year, even though the running game is suspect. The defense was very good last year. I expect them to do the same. I just think Eli Manning and the way he finishes up some games during the season is bound to cost the Giants 6 losses. Well, at least 4 out of the 6 losses. So I have them at 10-6. I believe the offense will be great. Odell Beckham Jr. should be very careful because every hit he's getting, he's asking for it. He's not helping himself with the amount of off-the-field issues he has, so he needs to tone it down a little bit just to focus on football. Hopefully, Rand Marshall can help him with that. Next one, we have the mighty Dallas Cowboys. I have them at 9-7 simply because the loss of Zeke Elliott for 6 games is going to hurt him real bad. 6 games can definitely, if they can even go 3-3, I would say they're okay, but I don't see them doing that. They relied on him heavily last year. Now, Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. I expect him to make progress from last year as well. However, that defense is not that great. They lost a lot of pieces this offseason. They even lost some of their O-line players, such as Ron Leary and Doug Free. That's going to be hard to replace. Also, they lost Brandon Carr in the safety corner position. I don't see the Cowboys making much noise. However, I think with Dak's play, I think they can easily get to 9 wins and hope for the 6th wild card. Well, the 2nd wild card in the NFC. The last but not least, we have the team from Washington, the Washington Redskins. They're going to finish at 7-9 in my prediction. Kirk Cousins will not be the problem. It's the players around him. The losing of Pierre Garçon and Deshaun Jackson will hurt this team bad. I understand Terrell Pryor and Jamison Crowder will probably take over the starting positions. They're just not going to be able to replace those two. I don't see Cousins staying with this franchise going forward after this year. Even on defense, I lost Chris Baker, which is a big loss. He's in Tampa. If you guys have been watching Hard Knocks, you've seen how entertaining that guy is. That's a big loss. Also, I think Jay Gruden is a good coach. I just don't think he has enough players around, in this team on the offensive side of the ball, especially. I just don't think it's the Redskins here, and I had them finishing at 7-9. Now that's the NFC East, and now we are on to the last division, which is the AFC East. Unfortunately, my beloved team is also in this division. We'll get to that in a second. But first team first, this division has been run by Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, and that will be the case again this year. I have them finishing at 14-2, even though the loss of Rob Ninkovich and Julian Edelman, who's out because of an injury, and Ninkovich retired. This team, as long as Brady's alive and breathing, have no competition in this division. No matter who you bring in any of the other teams to compete against him, this guy will run through anyone that you put in front of him on Sunday. Tom Brady is probably the greatest player of my lifetime, and along with Peyton Manning. It just happens to be at the Jets' cost, and that's what I can't, accept. And sometimes I hate on him for that. But it is what it is. Let's not be biased. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots will run through this division one more time, as I said. A 14-2 record. I don't see them break any sweat against any of these divisional matchups. Next team I have is the Miami Dolphins. Now, a lot of people would say Miami and Buffalo is a toss-up, but I think with the addition of Jay Cutler, even though he's pretty garbage, I still think he's a little better than Ryan Tannehill. That goes to show you what I think of Ryan Tannehill. Now, Jay Cutler, knowing Adam Gase's offense, he had success when he was in the Bears with him. So I'm expecting him to do a little better because Miami defense is not as bad as you think. And Ndamukong Suh, Cameron Wake, and them boys are very good. And Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker, and Jay Ajayi will form a formidable offense. I think the Dolphins can have a 9-7 season. I don't see them getting a wild card though. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills, I have them at 7-9 with the loss of Sammy Watkins. I'm not sure how the receiving core is going to look like. Also, Robert Woods is gone. They did bring in Jordan Matthews from Eagles, who I don't think is that great anyway. They should rely on their defense one more time, because that's all they have for the last few years. LaShawn McCoy should have a decent season. But all that being said, Tyrod Taylor is concussed. I'm not even sure if he's going to start week 1 against the Jets, so that's another thing you have to watch out for. But I do think the Bills' defense, especially with the new head coach and Sean McDermott, will be pretty good and get them to 7 wins this year. And last, I saved the best for last, right? Of course. We have my beloved New York Jets. Now, this has got to be one of the toughest year as a Jet fan. I hope all Jet fans out there really don't have any expectation from this team. This team is straight trash, let it be told. Josh McCown, a journeyman quarterback, will be starting the season. I'm not sure how many games he'll start, but do expect to see Bryce Petty, Orvin, Christian Hackenberg, who is, I don't even know how he got drafted in the second round. They will see action during the season. At best, I have them at 2-14. Don't get me wrong, though. The entire overall, I'm totally for it. Cutting Decker, Marshall, Mangle, Revis was totally fine with me because you have to get younger because those guys weren't getting anything done. And if you want to build something from scratch, you got to tear it down first. So I'm willing to sacrifice this season only if we can land a top 3 pick in next year and get our promising future franchise quarterback. Other than that, this season, I really have not much expectations. They will tank. They will be god-awful. So, Jet fans, please don't have any expectations, and you heard it here first. I'm sure you already heard it in every other network possible. Anyway, so those are my picks for all the divisions this year. Now, next week, I'll be doing the preview for Week 1 matchups. Kickoff night is on Thursday, where the Chiefs will take on the Patriots. And then there we go. The season is here, guys. The wait's over. The national nightmare is gone. And the NFL is upon us. I'll see you guys next week with Week 1 picks. Until then, it's Kishwar here. So long.